The end is officially on fast forward of that. That's an interdimensional creature. Get to that in a second.
In the Gulf, women employed as domestic workers are being sold online via apps provided by Google and Apple.
So I see this morning on X that many liberals are posting this story about Nicki Minaj saying that Nicki deletes her Instagram.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to one of our biggest and creepiest episodes yet here at Chill Spot. Tonight's lineup of viral TikToks and internet videos is next level. We're talking unsettling, bizarre, and totally unforgettable. This is one of those episodes that you'll be thinking about long after it ends. Let's get into it.
The end is officially on fast forward of that. That's an interdimensional creature. Get to that in a second, because I mean, what else is more fitting? So the president comes out and says he's releasing all alien files, which, you know, means that Great War, yeah, is right around the corner. But before we get into any of that stuff, let me show you how I know we're watching a stage. Remember Prince Andrews earlier? Yeah, remember 66 years old, 6 unmarked cars. Remember that horse running through the streets with blood on it? That was literally 666 days ago. And then shout out Donut, because he posted this right before the Super Bowl. We have first the rabbit, the white rabbit, the ep, and then we have the alien. That's something, right? And how intuitive was it for me to just post this video right before this one, before the president came out and said anything? If you hadn't seen it, you need to go watch it, because this has been planned forever.
Are they still talking about Jeffrey? Hurry, release the alien files.
By the way, I wish they had released their first file out of the alien files. Obviously a joke. So let's just slow it down for a minute, and then I'll show you that interdimensional creature that cracked that girl's windshield. So the E-files come out, and then Andrew is arrested for it, then released 666 days from the blood-soaked horse on his 66th birthday with 6 unmarked cars. World War III is about to start, but luckily we have the Board of Peace, and now like Reagan's speech, we have the aliens coming, which are going to work hand in hand with the Board of Peace. And Christians will believe them because of what I showed you in my last video. Now look, I'm not going to keep explaining to you what aliens are. I say aliens for joking purposes, and people yell at me in the comments and say they're demons. I've been saying that for 15 years. Actually, in 2018, I hypothesized that they're actually fallen angels because of their nature. I showed files showing where the government decades ago said they're interdimensional beings. And fast forward to now, they're many things. They're demons, they're fallen angels, they're flesh suits, they're a whole bunch of freaking wickedness. When the President of the United States releases alien files, you already know what time it is. Bonus benefit, who's Jeff? Anyways, check this out. So this lady caught this interdimensional creature on film. You can tell it's real from the way, you know, how the camera goes in and out and switching between lenses. That crack you see right there on the windshield allegedly is from this interdimensional being. And from all appearances, it matches, you know, the signs of these interdimensional beings. Like when you see UFOs, that's a broad term. You know, Cooper used to talk about the ones that he saw, that they were all countries making these craft. But when you see the interdimensional UFOs, you know, the spiritual aspect, and they really, like whether a pyramid or a square, they take on this really weird semi-see-through shape. And that's exactly how this thing looks. Like it's in a cross between a reality and a dream. In just 1 second, it's going to start to walk away. And again, we saw, you know, the characteristics of the phone, that it's a real video. What even is this?
Yup, what's underneath our cities is coming up and swallowing us whole, and we are not only experiencing biblical level disasters, but it's exactly what we've been warned of. People were terrified after an unprecedented hole opened up on the ground in Omaha, Nebraska, swallowing up 2 cars, with Isaiah 24:19 warning that when the earth will crack and shatter and split open, it is too late to run and we need to repent. Haunting reports from the city's engineer warns that one void is likely to be connected to another through underground channels that will cause more, with police cautioning it will grow and they will get bigger and spread faster until we cannot outrun it. Eerie reports labeled this as a busy intersection, with many saying this disaster seemed bent to get as many people as possible. But what theory do you believe?
Everyone, I want to thank all our channel members for the incredible support that's driving our growth. We'll welcome you all to today's video with some exciting updates.
In the Gulf, women employed as domestic workers are being sold online via apps provided by Google and Apple. It's been called an online slave market. BBC News Arabic goes undercover in Kuwait to expose this shocking and disturbing online trade.
بما اني دفعت مبلغ عشان استخدم هذا الشخص، معناته هذا الشخص ملك لي. هذه الفكرة اللي لازم نمحيها. This is child labor, child trafficking. It's sad and disgusting.
It's an unregulated black market depriving women and children of their basic human rights, leaving them at risk of exploitation and abuse.
When I stay with my madam, I sleep me and the cows. You know cows?
All made possible by the Silicon Valley tech giants.
What they are doing is illegal. If Google, Apple, Facebook, or any other company is promoting apps like these, hosting apps like these, they are promoting an online slave market.
In Kuwait, 90% of households employ a domestic worker. That's 1 for every 2 Kuwaiti citizens.
We have 700,000 domestic workers here in Kuwait. They are in all houses, but you cannot see them. You don't know them, you cannot recognize them, you can even call them.
Anna Bunda is the founder of Sandigan, an organization that fights for the welfare and rights of domestic workers in Kuwait.
If it's life and death situation, then we will do whatever it takes to save the worker. We deal with a lot of abuse cases, like this one. She was being sold online. She was being pictured by her employer without knowing that the employer will post it online. When I see some posting like this, we immediately comment, just tell them that this is illegal. They don't realize that this is human trafficking. Nobody owns us.
You won't believe this, but recently people started talking about something shocking, that the Vatican may have opened the so-called Sixth Gate. Believers even call it the Gate of the Apocalypse. According to legend, this gate is hidden under St. Peter's Basilica, and only the Pope and a few close members of the church can access it. The gate is said to open only before major global changes. Many remembered what happened last year when the Pope opened the 5 holy gates in Rome. During the opening of the 5th gate, a strange sound suddenly appeared, almost like a crying baby. The Pope's reaction looked truly frightened, and some now think that the 6th gate opened at the same moment. According to the legend, that cry could mean the beginning of a new era. The 6th gate marks the transition from one age to another, and when it opens, major events start happening around the world. In Christianity, this being is called the Antichrist, and in Islam, it is known as Dajjal, both seen as signs of the end times. If you want to see the videos people keep discussing, type in TikTok search Vatican 6th Gate.
The Great Gathering of the Elites of 1947 was not merely a luxurious party in Switzerland, attended by the powerful and demonic hosts. It was also a celebration of the opening of 2 great portals in Hiroshima and Nagasaki in the preceding years. The atomic bombs did not just claim the innocent lives of more than 240,000 people through impact and radiation. The war had already been won. They also tore the fabric of space-time. Such was the release of energy from the warheads, coupled with the massive suffering of the victims. That was planned from the start. A great ritual for Malak, the ancient demon of old. Through these rifts, a vast number of demons and interdimensional beings crossed over. Inhabitants of other indescribable hellish planes, distant underworlds now brought closer. These beings arrived with a purpose already in mind, a plan that had been underway for millennia and was now entering its final stages. But that is a subject for another entry. Now it was time for the powerful to celebrate their dark conquests for...
Quite some creepy videos there. Starting our video today shows us how the world has been ruled by evil even up to date, serving us our own flesh and all these plans for the elites. I hope y'all are safe and doing good wherever you are.
They are drinking human blood in there and no one even cares. It's called achrome. If you know what I mean, then you know. And it's only come to the light in the past 5 years. And these secret tunnels, it's not just some stupid little cult where they do some weird ritual. This is a demonic cult, and millions of these people exist in tunnels under the ground all around the world. And no one thinks it's true because they're like, oh, that's just a conspiracy theory. You're weird for even talking about that. If a group of people can do something, they will do it. I don't know how many stories you need to be told about this happening for you to believe it, but it is happening, and these people are being brought underground and they're being harvested. And I don't know how many more words I can say to describe this without the video getting taken down. I'm trying to be careful right now, but everyone just ignores this. No one even cares that this is going on. And it's not just in the United States, it's all around the world. But people are just too busy watching their stupid fucking NFL games and eating pizza and doing whatever. And fucking gooning. No one wants to solve the problems of the world. No one cares about anyone else. The biggest problem we have in this world is no one helps each other. George Lucas said it right in The Phantom Menace when he told Jake Lloyd to say that. Because those movies were the truth being set in plain sight. They were ancient occultism being shown to the masses. And no one even saw it. Everyone's just focused on the fucking lightsaber battles. But the biggest problem is no one helps each other. And if we just keep ignoring this, it's going to happen again. And I've already said too much probably. It is basically over now, from what I hear. The underground tunnels, all those people, they're pretty much gone now. But if we don't learn from this, it's just going to happen again. But, you know, no one even cares.
They were eating the fucking settlers. Yes, they were eating the Native Americans. When Christopher Columbus landed in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, they were eating the fucking Native Americans. It is in their fucking journals. Even John Smith's journal contains that they used to barbecue, grill, fry, and boil the fucking natives. They would cut them up into chunks and fry them like they were fucking chicken, bro. This is the shit they don't tell you in school. This is the fucking shit they do not tell you in school. This is the unwhitewashed story of America. When I tell you everybody needs to grab this book, they put us in hot frying oil. They put us, Native American and black people, after lynchings, they would cut up the body. They would unalive us, do the lynching, and then cut up the body, keep it as souvenirs, and even consume it. And witnesses saw this shit happen, and some of them would throw up because of seeing this. And then they call us the fucking savages. Literally, they call the Native American people the savages and the black people the savages, even though they ate us on some Jeffrey fucking Dahmer shit, bro. Literally. They had recipe books that had people as the fucking meat. We were the meat. When I say grab this book, but only grab it if you're ready to actually understand the unwhitewashed version of America. Y'all can try to lie to yourselves and learn the bullshit in the schools, but this is going to unlearn everything you learned. If you still see the link there, that means it's still in stock. Grab it because it goes very fucking fast.
You want to know why Satan goes so hard after black people? It's because black people are the beginning of human civilization, and black people hold the key to the bridge between earth and the divine. And what I mean by that is black people, right, are the closest to the divine. It's the beginning of civilization. And it is black people are the spiritual bridge between earth and the divine. So it's all about how far you have strayed from spirituality.
What she is saying, I absolutely agree with. Black people have lost their spirituality. You got black people in all kind of stuff. And when I say we're spiritual, I mean that. But spirituality doesn't mean anything if you don't know what your identity is. So you can be half naked and burn sage and walk around your house and sit down and cross your legs and do all of that stuff and pray to the universe if you want to. That's not going to fix what's going on with black people. That's not going to fix our families. That's not going to fix our young children, our young men. None of that is going to work. Our identity is being God's chosen people. That's our identity. And until we can connect to that, we will continue to see the things happen to us that happen to us. We will continue to fight for this and fight for that in a never-ending cycle.
Those clips just explain many things that be happening in our societies with all the rise of missing people all over, and I have to say, they be telling the truth. Tell us what you think down in the comments below, and leave a like for us.
Best way to gain control of the most intelligent, powerful species on the planet would be to completely divide them from the love within themselves. As soon as they are old enough to begin creating an understanding of who they are, force them into a system that teaches them that it is wrong to be yourself if yourself is different from what is accepted as normal. Confuse them about their own biological makeup so that they think that permanently altering their body is the answer to happiness. Require their daily attendance at an institution that makes them focus only on the information that is provided. Make them attend that institution from age 5 until an adult and repeatedly test them on the information so that it becomes their truth. Give them an explanation to everything so that they never have a chance to make their own assumptions of the world. Scold them and humiliate them if they suggest an opinion that opposes that of their authorities. Keep reminding them of how cruel their ancestors were to each other in the past and broadcast how cruel they are to each other in the present. Only show them tragedies on the news so that they live in fear and think the worst of one another. Convince them that their species used to be that of an incognizant wild animal. Make them think that their very existence is so incredibly random that they lack purpose and struggle to make sense of a creator. Tell them that their kind is as smart as they've ever been so that they don't question the integrity of the system that they're in. Provide them idols with artificial beauty and use them as examples of what it is to look perfect so that they are never content with their own appearance and can't help but to compare themselves amongst each other. Create addictive digital platforms that rank them by numbers so that they base their self-worth off of the amount of followers that they have and are never satisfied. Build a society around them in which those who have money benefit and those who don't fail. Make money their main focus, but make it so difficult to accumulate that they remain in a place of constant struggle, forced to dedicate the majority of their time to the system that made it this way. Tax them in every way possible, but tell them that it's for their own benefit so that they don't think twice about paying it. Take so much of their time and energy throughout the week, but give them 2 days to themselves so that they feel a sense of reward and don't fight back. Promote the consumption of poison in every social setting so that even on those 2 days, they remain disconnected from themselves and each other. Pump their food with excess sugars and addictive chemicals, but make it cheap, advertised, and easily accessible so that they never stop consuming. When their food makes them ill, prescribe them medication that only
Recently, something terrifying happened in the United States. People reported hearing trumpet-like sounds coming directly from the sky.
Lighten up now.
That's crazy, man. Man, that's crazy. It's like a trumpet. It's like a judgment trumpet.
Several witnesses managed to record the moment. In the video, a loud metallic sound echoes above the city, deep, powerful, and completely unnatural. It doesn't sound like planes. It doesn't sound like construction. Many described it as trumpets blowing from the sky itself. What makes this even stranger is the atmosphere at that moment. The sky suddenly darkened, as if a storm was forming out of nowhere. Some people reported a brief flash of lightning, even though there was no storm forecast. The sound lasted long enough to confuse and frighten everyone who heard it. Similar trumpet sounds have been reported around the world for years, and many link them to ancient prophecies. In the Bible, trumpets are described as signs before major world-changing events, warnings meant to be heard by everyone. So where did this sound really come from? A natural phenomenon, military technology, or something far more unsettling? What do you think it was? Write your opinion in the comments and follow me, because events like this may be warnings we shouldn't ignore.
I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna hold you at all. But it might be over. Somebody said that's why it's been so cold, because they trying to keep this motherfucker frozen. Man, if y'all don't go ahead, man. But if that may be true, summertime coming, man. Summertime is coming. And then, nigga, what make them just pop up now? Like we ain't got all this other shit coming on. Like we ain't got all this other shit going on right now, bro. What the fuck wrong with them? Ain't got no damn consideration for what the fuck niggas going through right now. Nigga, you know who our president is, nigga? I think he gonna pop out the water, and it's gonna be this motherfucker right here. It's gonna be this motherfucker right here. Man, y'all got me fucked up, man. Talking about his head is just as big as your state. Nigga, what the?
What do y'all think of these mythical creatures and their significance to the end of time? People have been speculating a lot on the end of times and all these signs, and I think it's all just too crazy. Tell us down below and let's continue.
So this is a Zeta hybrid. People call them the Greys. They are Zeta reticuli, and they have the big eyes and the no lips. But this is what this person is, and also has markings, symbolism on the neck. If you zoom in, there's like an Aztec sun and a few other things.
I do see the resemblance of a gray after looking at this person, but I'm not sure if that's the case. Or you could look at it where we're all hybrids. We are all hybrid aliens, because from my understanding, none of us originated from this planet. I do find it interesting how some people, even though they come from the same family bloodline, exhibit more traits of hybrid humans. If you want to look this person up, the name is Bargella Adley, and you can find her on Facebook. And since we're on this topic, let me know below your thoughts of hybrid humans, and if you believe that we are all mixed with something from another galaxy. Leave it below, Unanswered Universe.
People have just found out why this is one of the scariest things on Earth. This thing literally looks like a small piece of spaghetti or even a hair, but this is extremely, extremely dangerous. It is a horsehair worm, it's not a hair, and it's basically compound V or a zombie virus. Great. These things come from algae and dirt in the water, and they literally need water to survive, so bear that in mind. They go on land and they then infect all kinds of insects and bugs, crickets, mantis, beetles, all of those guys. But once it grows inside of the insect, it takes control of the host, and what does it need? Water to survive. So it takes over its host's brain and forces itself to get into water so it can survive. Even if these things cannot swim, have never swum in their life, and it's not in their nature, basically forcing them to commit suicide. The moment the insect hits the water, it most likely dies, and this thing just comes straight back out and goes on its way to infect another one. Pretty much possessing bugs and insects and things that they get into, which is really scary that that is actually possible and can take control of their brain. Luckily to humans, they can make you pretty sick, obviously, if you're to scran it and thinking it is a piece of spaghetti, but it's not going to have the same effect of taking over your brain. But if it can do it to a bug, imagine what else could be out there that could do the same to us.
So a bug's life in real life? But this is really tragic. And why do I say that? Because there are bugs that help the world keep going the way it does, and they apparently are becoming extinct. And I'm referring to bugs such as bees, butterflies, beetles, and they're all dying at rapid rates, and scientists are sounding the alarm on this. And this is happening at such a rapid pace that scientists are even claiming that this is happening at a critical rapid pace. And think about what insects do. They pollinate. And without pollination, we have a very big problem with crops. And less crops will mean shortages of certain foods. And one thing is for sure, the lack of butterflies around the season has been very noticeable. Also bees, for example. And ask yourself this question. Someone said something to me not too long ago. When was the last time you saw a firefly in the Northeast? It's been a while since they've been floating around in the summer. And many are claiming that it's in part to climate disruption. And there are those that also claim that it's those lines you see in the skies that are causing this major issue. But keep in mind, bees are very important to our ecosystem. And if you recall some of the lessons you were taught about bees, that if they vanish or go extinct, humans then go extinct. And bees are responsible for a huge portion of the global food system. So it was not your imagination that you have not seen that many bees or butterflies or even fireflies or beetles in your area. Something is definitely going on, and I think it's something we need to keep a close eye on. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
For those who still don't believe these creatures exist, there is your proof right there. Those things are just scary and can't imagine living in a place they are. If you are enjoying the content so far, subscribe so that you don't miss out.
Has the Nickelodeon curse struck yet again? Recent videos have been going viral of a Nickelodeon child star now seen living on the streets of LA. Tyler Chase rose to fame in 2004 as a teen actor on Nickelodeon, playing the character Martin Quirley on the show Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. After that, he had small parts in the show Everybody Hates Chris and the film Good Time Max, and he even did voice work for LA Noire all the way up until 2011. But from that year on, something changed. There are no more public records of him doing any more work in Hollywood. Now, it's not clear what exactly happened, but his mother has said that he has struggled with bipolar disorder, and she even asked for a GoFundMe which was set up for him to be taken down, saying Tyler needs medical attention, not money. But he refuses it. He can't manage money for his meds by himself. But what makes this even worse is that Tyler Chase is not an isolated tragedy. He is part of a broader pattern where kids were rushed into fame, they were failed by contracts and people around them, and ultimately were left vulnerable to abuse, addiction, homelessness, and in some tragic cases, even death.
Oh, the internet. So I see this morning on X that many liberals are posting this story about Nicki Minaj, saying that Nicki deletes her Instagram after losing nearly 10 million followers. Oh my God, 10 million followers. Yeah, except that's a lie. A simple Google search, people. It's not hard. While social media reports claim Nicki Minaj lost 10 million followers, this figure is likely significantly exaggerated. Despite widespread viral claims of a 10 million follower loss, tracking data from early December 2025 showed her following at approximately 223.8 million followers. A slight dip, let me say it again, a slight dip from 227.5 million in November. Experts suggest the loss was a standard fluctuation or a much smaller reaction rather than a sudden mass exodus of 10 million. The kicker is she did delete her Instagram back in October. Oops. Just liberals being liberals. Lying.
Like, how can we hang out hey, we can hang out in my chat.
You don't want somebody to pump you, make you bigger than you already are?
Who are you? What can you do for me?
Only time will tell, right?
What can you do for me though?
My man, did you want to take down my contact number? We gotta sit on top.
Wait, no, what can you do for me?
Huh?
What can you do for me?
The thing is, what could I not do for you?
Ooh, can you give 10,000 subs?
10,000 what? One more time? Subs. Clarify that, please.
That's subscriptions. On live stream.
I can get you a lot more than that.
Ooh.
Yeah. How do I link in with this guy, dude?
He might be Illuminati. Ooh.
Right, we're gonna put this in here. Watch. How epic is this? So this is all water vapor because this car right here runs purely on hydrogen. Now this is called the Hyperion XP1.
We've all experienced the downfall of many celebrities because in the music or acting industry, there is always a time limit, and it's just about time we see Nicki's downfall. Other than that, what do y'all think of these new tech?
Your kids probably have one of these, right? Not quite. Hell of a pilot? No. That skill is all AI. It's flying itself. Its processor can react 100 times faster than a human. The stochastic motion is an anti-sniper feature. Just like any mobile device these days, it has cameras and sensors, and just like your phones and social media apps, it does facial recognition. Inside here is 3 grams of shaped explosive. What? This is how it works. Did you see that? That little bang is enough to penetrate the skull and destroy the contents.
Why do we have this? That's horrifying. Dude, these could easily just get hacked in the future and just like swarmed in on people. And they're so small too, you can't even see them coming. They'll just latch onto your face and your head blows off.
It's one of a range of products. Trained as a team, they can penetrate buildings, cars, trains, evade people, bullets, pretty much any countermeasure. They cannot be stopped.
What?
Now, I said this was big. Why? Because we are thinking big. Watch.
Oh my God.
A $25 million order now buys this.
Oh my God.
Enough to kill half a city. The bad half.
The bad
Nuclear
half?
is obsolete. Take out your entire enemy, virtually risk-free. Just characterize him, release the swarm, and rest easy. Using data, even by a hashtag, you can target an evil ideology right where it starts.
I kind of like the idea. Imagine you're arguing with someone and they piss you off. You can just get your fucking drone out and kill them. That's like so not okay, dude. I would vote for this. Dude, that is horrifying. That's like real. That's like gonna be a thing probably. I would only want this if I could control it. Like if you guys could control it, I wouldn't want that because then you guys, like I'd have to, you know, do what you guys want. And that'd be kind of scary.
We are now entering the era of prompt to matter. So that means all you have to do is type something into a computer, like one sentence, and then the AI will use a 3D printer to create anything that you want. And since we're at this stage now in 2026, who knows how advanced this is going to be in the near future. And if you've ever seen Star Trek, they use the same technology, only it's a little bit more advanced. But this AI stuff has got me thinking about how we're all entering a new era where we're going to be having technology a lot like in Star Trek. And I haven't seen anyone else on the internet bring this up, how this AI is literally on track to give us what we saw on these TV shows like 60 years ago. I mean, in here, they got the AI computer rearranging atoms, like air into a cup of coffee. I mean, we're not that advanced yet, but we're getting there. And once the AI, those data warehouses are completed that Trump just invested in with NVIDIA, they put in like $500 billion. It's a huge warehouse with a bunch of like quantum computers that have to be hydro-cooled. It's gonna like make AI learning go exponentially because then they have so much more RAM and so much more computer power to start doing their processes. This is why like a stick of RAM costs like $500 or whatever, like $5,000. Like you can't get a gaming PC anymore because they're all going to the AI computers for now. But if you've seen the C-Dance 2.0 thing that just came out too, that is literally like the holodeck in Star Trek. They program it where it gets the 3D environment. It makes a 3D environment and then it makes the video, so it has the correct logic for like the punches and stuff. So they're having like correct logic when they're a punch is like hitting someone, and it's using like correct physics in the system, and then it's creating a 2D image of that to create the video. So it's creating first the environment, it's creating a system. So it's only a matter of time before we get all this technology and we have like literal holodecks where we can go in there and just create whatever we want and do anything.
Technology is really advancing at an uncontrollable rate. Now you can just 3D print stuff that could have taken months to build. That's crazy, y'all. Leave us a like and let's continue with the video. There are more interesting stuff ahead.
就会看不见我了。我现在就是在场给大家展示了下半身的消失术。
I can feel it wrapping around. It's warm, but kind of cool at the same time. The soul's coming in now. Look.
They got the whole shoe already.
No way. It fits perfectly. It feels like it was made for me because it was.
Wow. That's just amazing. Given how things are going with all these new tech, I think we are ready for flying cars now. China, do something about that.
Most unique families on Earth. Shamikia Mara's family. The mom tattooed her baby at 6 months. The Da Silva family. The family with 6 fingers. Vanabambitu family. He has over 100 wives. The Mehmedan Karim Selman family. Family born with heterochromia. Arlo Dennis family. No gender family. The Gomez family. The hairiest family in the world.
This man is 10 minutes away from causing the second biggest disaster in world history, and he doesn't even know it yet. In 1949, the infamous opera singer Giovanni Russo was set to perform at the Grand Glass Opera House in downtown New York City. Over 5,000 people would attend the show that night, and it was televised on TV since it was Giovanni's final performance before retiring. He would go on and sing his most popular songs from the past decades, and the crowd loved every minute of it. But at the end, he would sing his most famous song called "Marry Me in the Milky Way." At the song's end, he famously would hit a high note, and this time he put his full soul into it. Unfortunately, the opera house was made 50% out of glass, and his powerful voice caused the glass support pillars to shatter. This made the whole building collapse on top of itself, with everybody inside. Sadly, only a few dozen of the 5,000 people survived the incident, and Giovanni wasn't one of them. Most people blame Giovanni for the tragedy, and he is known as the voice of death.
$50 billion is how much money we spent building a pyramid and a city on the other side of the planet. It's called Astana, Kazakhstan. And the pyramid that we built is in the middle of it, right in the heart of the city. It houses 200 delegates. And ironically, there are 200 fallen angels. But if you click inside that building, you can go to the boardroom, which has a round table where all 200 delegates get to meet. And if you disagree with them, there's a hole right there in the middle of the table, and you can see all the way down to the floor of reconciliation. And I guess that's the hole of peace. And that's next on the trumpet. The United States were some of the first people to even invest their money there. This is just one of many buildings they built. Circular 200-seat chamber for world religion meetings. Chapter 3 of the Book of Enoch, Fallen Angels, tells you all about the 200 angels that descended onto Mount Hermon. Mount Hermon is where that happened. And if you go to the Book of Enoch, you can see that those 20 names that it mentioned right underneath that verse, they were leaders of tens. So there were 200 people that descended right here on top of Mount Hermon. And the United Nations decided this is right where we need to build a base, on the 33rd degree parallel. These people right here, and he will gather the nations. And no, I'm not talking about the Pope. Look at that logo right there. That's quite simply the 33rd degree. That logo shows the Earth divided by 8 sections, and each section is divided by 4 other sections. 8 times 4 is 32, and the center section makes the 33rd. There's a lot of people on that same page. Now you're going to start seeing that 33 show up everywhere, like in the buttons on his cloak. They represent the years of Jesus' life. The 33rd degree is where Jesus transfigured in front of the disciples. The 33rd degree is where the Masons built the Tower of Babel out of bricks. And yes, if you work with bricks or stones, you are considered a Mason. Charleston, South Carolina, home of the Masons. I love that these guys think that they are the oldest fraternity of men. You're not the oldest fraternity of men that swore an oath. That was the fallen angels. And they called it Mount Hermon because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. That book is in the Library of Congress. And this book is right on my shelf for all of us to read. And in the Sermon on the Mount, these are Jesus' words right here. Verse 33, in case you weren't paying attention. Again ye have heard that it hath been said by them of old time, thou shalt not forswear thyself.
And history repeats itself. Those clips were quite interesting but sad at the same time, given that the government can waste all that money to build something of so little significance to the taxpayers while people are homeless out here.
I know you trust me with a lot of things, but trust me with this as well. Africa used to be the head of a giant until it sank and died in the ocean and became the continent that we all originated from, Africa, also known as Skull Island. I have so much anatomy to show you, and it's all here. I have other photos as well that go deeper into the inside of Africa. But we can see here, there was a deadly wound at the top, and that split apart, and that became part of Europe and Asia. And then we have the ear, the mouth down here. Madagascar is likely the nose that fell off. It got ripped off by one of the Olympian gods. This Victorian lake is the eye. And then we got the horn there because this was also likely a Cyclops fallen angel. And then if we look at the anatomy of the human head, we can see where all the veins are. This is the suture. If that gets severed, you're dead. And then you see all of these huge veins that go inside. This is just like the Nile River. And look at here, this is the bottom side of Africa. We have a suture that goes to the back of the skull near the occipital lobe. And it's a huge vein that goes all the way up and it turns into the Nile River. And here is the bottom of Africa. We can see this is where all of the diamonds are mined. Guess where else is here on Africa? The mouth and the teeth. So the teeth were diamonds. And this is where they fight all these wars with each other because this is where 99% of the diamonds in the world come from. And then if we look at Africa from this angle, we can see all the sutures. What that is in your skull is basically where the bones in your skull piece together. They're like sort of like little cracks in the skull, but that's where they connect to each other. And we can see this on Africa all the way around the northern and the southern part of the back of the skull here. We can see these cracks. The truth is in plain sight if you're willing to look at it. We see the diamonds are the teeth. This is why the Africans have the culture of putting diamonds in their mouth, because they instinctively know what land they are living on. And you might think it's impossible for Africa to be a giant skull because the earth just isn't that big. It couldn't even hold that type of a giant. Well, that's why you gotta look at it. You gotta zoom out. You gotta look at everything else that there is in the world. There are all these other lands, and I'm guessing that thousands or millions of years ago, humans were a lot bigger, like a lot bigger. This is why we have the legends of the Greek mythology where they talk about in the beginning there were only giants and they all fought with each other, giants and gods, and then they all died. Then they became the land that we live on.
This video is going viral right now, and I'm not talking about this intro clip of the ice wall or Antarctica. I'm talking about a video from the 50s of Antarctica and them flying over it and seeing other lands.
Bunker leans forward in amazement. His eyes have caught a sudden and unbelievable change in scenery. The universal white has turned to chocolate brown, dotted with blue. A cameraman goes into action. 300 square miles of land without snow. Land that might be in New Mexico or Arizona. Pictures alone will prove Bunker has discovered a warm oasis in the shadow of the pole. It is for such supreme moments as this that men brave the hardships of exploration. The astounding, undreamed of fact is that they are over a chain of warm water lakes, whose shores, except for small patches, are free of ice and snow. Commander Bunker circles the largest lake in sight, 5 miles long. He comes in to make a landing. Water temperatures must be recorded. Samples taken. He finds the water fresh. Temperature 38 degrees Fahrenheit. On the shores are vast deposits of coal and of minerals of the utmost importance to civilization. Mountain ranges with peaks 20,000 feet above sea level.
Hey y'all, check out this theory that's been going around about the Himalayan salt. This is wild. Y'all let me know in the comments. Do y'all believe that pink salt is remains from a petrified giant?
What if I told you that I am holding right here the petrified remains, not of a giant, of a titan, which is like a giant. Like this massive oak tree behind me would be like the little micro step cousin of the giant titans, okay? And you may be thinking, and I thought that too, I'm like, who the hell thinks that pink salt is a petrified giant? Here's the weird part, and here's the new part that I figured out since yesterday's video. If you look at a pink salt mine, which I'll put some pictures here, it does look like muscle tissue. However, many things look like many other things. I mean, here's a picture of a petrified snake, or it's just rocks that are in a funny shape. You know what I mean? But here's the weird part. If there was a giant flood, a great flood, and it had to rain for 40 days and 40 nights just to be able, he made it rain 40 days, 40 nights just to be able to submerge them because they were so tall, so gigantic, like in Jack and the Beanstalk, like in every freaking fairy tale we read growing up. Here's the weird part. Pink salt. What's it called? Himalayan pink salt. Where would the giants go to escape a flood? They'd climb a hill, they'd climb a mountain. Where do they find pink salt? In a mountain. What kind of pink salt is it? Himalayan. Himalayan. Is that why they call it Himalayan pink salt? Because it's the Himalayan mountains is a whole bunch of remnants of petrified giants who fled to the hills, which then made it a mountain when they petrified on top of it. And that's how we got pink salt. Now, of course, pink salt has many benefits, this, that, and the other. But the interesting part is that we still are told that that's all just a fairy tale. But the question you have to literally cranially discuss and think about yourself, why would so many ancient cultures talk about giants as like a joke fairy tale? I mean, I'm way past. Were there maybe giants? Like, I'm kind of like, dude, how tall were they? How big were they? What else about them? That's where I'm at. And why were they so rude? That's the problem. That's why he flooded the earth, because they were cannibalistic, they were mean, they were like enslaving people, they were well, Nephilim, we'll talk about it. And there's remnants of them to this day. Ask someone who served in the U.S. Army in 2006 to 2007. I think that's the year that they found the Afghan giant, which of course is just a theory. It's not confirmed, but it's very interesting.
And there you have it, another wild ride through the weirdest corners of the internet. Thanks for hanging out with us here at Chill Spot. If you had a good time, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell so you never miss our next creepy adventure. Got a spooky clip we haven't covered yet? Drop it in the comments below. Until next time, stay chill, stay curious, and we'll catch you in the next one.